Hi, I'm Peter Mary, founder of the WED Guild, and right now I'd like to talk to you about the first requirement in the category for comprehensive personalization. Now in this category we're looking for 5 sample agendas from wedding receptions that you've recently entertained at. We're also looking for an example of a sample agenda from a recent wedding ceremony where you've provided the PA support. Now you might be saying, I don't do a lot of ceremonies. Well, that's why we only asked for 1. But we do want to see how you cover ceremonies as well as receptions, and I'd like to give you a few thoughts about what to include in your sample agenda. We're going to be looking for a timeline that specifies the order of the events, it specifies the important announcements that are being made, and it also specifies the special music that's going to be playing as well as background music and other things. Think about this in 2 ways. One is you might give a condensed version of this information to the other vendors that just has the bullet points of what's going to happen. If you do create a condensed version, feel free to submit that as well, but we're going to want to see the expanded version that you actually perform off of. Think about it this way. What if something happened and you couldn't show up to this wedding? Would another entertainer be able to pick up your script and know immediately what's supposed to happen, in what order, and who's supposed to be introduced, and what song's supposed to play? If that information is not there, it's going to get red flagged by your application committee because they're going to be reading it both as a bride and as a wedding entertainer who might have to perform off of that. I'll give you some examples of things I've seen in the past that have caused problems. I've seen too many typos, so it made it difficult to read. I have seen a printout of a form, much like a DJ Intelligence form. Nothing wrong with that software, it's fantastic, but if it looks like a form and everything's in different places, it might be hard to read and hard to follow. And that might make it challenging for the bride to read, as well as for the other vendors to read. Now, this would be an example of a performance script that I used for a recent ceremony. And it outlines who's walking in what order and what music is playing, and it also has a little lineup of where everybody's standing and where the parents are seated during the ceremony. That's what I put into mine. Yours don't have to look exactly like mine, but they should be clean and neat and easy to read so that the people in your application committee can follow it and understand exactly what the expectations would be. This would be the reception script for the wedding I just did in Austin, Texas, just about a week ago. And you can see it's about 3 pages long. It actually goes through and shows what songs are playing for the different moments, and it even has a lineup order for the wedding party coming in, as well as the names of some guests we included for an activity, and the head table seating chart. That's what I've included in mine. Now, you might be saying, well, you know, I do have a lineup of events, but I don't really want to put time on it. I understand. I used to be the same way. I used to write my agendas without time on it because I felt it was too constraining and it kind of constricted what we were trying to create here. After all, it should just flow, right? But then I started to get questions from catering. They wanted to know when they could pour the toast. They wanted to know when they could serve the salad. They wanted to know when they could expect to cut the cake and help serve that out. And I realized that if I put timestamps on it, that would give them peace of mind and give them a clearer picture of where it's going. So when I started attempting to do that, I had a realization. I've been entertaining a wedding so long now, I know how long the toasts are typically going to take. I know how long it's going to take for the grand entrance. I know how long it's going to take for the cake cutting. So I was able to actually put those blocks of time in there and put timestamps down the side so they can actually see when they can expect those different things to occur. These are the kind of details we're going to be looking for. Now you might say, you know what, I've never had the need for that. I just have bullet points of what songs I'm going to play. That's perfectly fine. A lot of DJs do it that way. But if you want to be a wedding entertainment director, this is what's expected, and this is how we're going to ask you to verify it. So if you haven't started doing this, I'd encourage you to start writing up these kind of timelines, save them for your next several weddings, and then go to our wedguild.com/community forums and register on our mentor program and let your mentor see some of the things you're doing, and they'll help you put together a solid example of your agendas so that you can put your best foot forward. If you have any direct questions for me about this video, feel free to email me as usual at peter@wedguild.com.